Hey everybody, we're back with more Persona 3 FES. Joined once again by my co-commentator and good best personal friend, ChanceEm.
Heya!
ChanceEm. How you doing, ChanceEm?
I am doing my best. How are you doing, Chrono?
I am dead inside. Good night, everybody. It's been at least a couple of streams since I did the fake out goodbyes. Don't dead open inside.
Don't dead open inside. Oh god, that actually kind of reminds me of a joke that like one of my coworkers started saying to me after I got her into Persona 3 some odd years back. It's like whenever work was just like killing us, her comment would just be along the lines of like, "I'm going Persona 3 right now," because of summoning the personas.
So we left off. Yukari had gotten sick and gone home because she's not a team player.
Damn, Yukari, not picking up those extra hours that we needed.
Oh, inside jokes. How you doing, Manda? Let's go home. Oh, look, a new moon.
A new moon. Time for new beginnings.
There's no school
and
today.
other things.
Now I can dance naked around
I bet
a
it's because of... I was gonna say, no school, I bet it's because of the new moon.
Can I play video games all day?
It's like, why play video games all day if other people are also not playing video games all day?
Yeah, tell me about it. Isn't it always the way, though, just being ill when you're not in school?
Mm-hmm.
I say, hey. Like, Persona 3's soundtrack is good, but let's be fair, the fuck are some of these lyrics?
You're okay, so you mentioned that, and every time I was like, what the fuck are these lyrics? I just think back to the opening of The World Ends With You.
God, it's been so long since I've looked at anything The World Ends With You.
Alright, hold up. I'm gonna pull up the lyrics for Twister, the opening song to The World Ends With You. I can speak. Alright.
Here we go.
Alrighty. If I can actually type on my phone. Trying to type Twister, and instead I just typed Twit. Good job, self. Yes, that is me. I am a twit.
I am become Twit, destroyer of worlds. Police dog, what news do you have? Alright, let me see. So I got that. Oh, brass knuckles. Da 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 bow dow. Alright. Something for Akihiko. One of those. Let's get in the Menity suit. No. And I gotta remember to equip it on him. Super cat food. Didn't Elizabeth want to go to the mall? Oh, is the antique shop opening? I was just wondering that. Oh, okay.
Alright, sorry about that.
How was Police Dog?
How was Police Dog? They might start barking again in a moment, but I tried.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Alright, so... As I was saying, as far as, like, songs that have lyrics that you're just kind of sitting there like, the fuck is being said right now?
Oh,
and,
I missed the date to take Elizabeth to the mall.
That's unforgivable.
Elizabeth is not best girl, apparently.
That is even more unforgivable. Have you seen Elizabeth? She is very obviously best girl. Just like Yukari, and Mitsuru, and Fuka, and Yuko, and Chihiro, and... smudged writing on hand. Oh yeah, I guess. Everyone's best girl.
Well, this is FES, so don't forget metas. Silence just speaks volumes. And of course, let's not forget their sister, Labras.
Oh yeah. Best girl. Every girl is best girl.
No, Labras is definitely not best girl.
What
kind of bookstore's closing on Sunday, you cowards?
What am I supposed to do on my holy day? How dare you not give me the books of God to read?
I don't care if you're visiting your son's grave. I have books I need. Ah, shit.
Welcome back.
That was not a smart move. You want to just reload?
This is your fault. Prick.
We gotta go time travel because of Junpei.
No. Remember what the contract said. We accept the
time travel.
responsibilities and consequences of our choices.
No! I refuse! This is a video game. I am allowed to load my state if I want to. How dare that child in striped pajamas try to tell me I can't reset?
I'm no longer sick.
Yay for not being sick, at least.
Exam results will be posted today. Yay! Forgot about that.
It's like, great! Please, show me how horrible of a student I am.
Yukari, why do you wear thigh highs?
I mean, I'm not complaining.
It feels like she's kind of like trying to be Mitsuru-like, but she won't let them go high enough. That's why Mitsuru's best girl.
Everyone is best girl.
Yeah, I feel like the Fuka arc of this game is like one of my least favorite arcs.
I mean, you can still be best girl even if, like, you might be like, okay, this one might be a little less best girl.
Oh no, it's not because of Fuka, I just don't particularly like the storyline where she joins us. Ah yeah! I'm gonna get Mitsuru's praise. Yeah! I got a charm increase. Ah yeah!
Hell yeah.
Lunchtime's almost over. I haven't eaten. Oh no!
And just spend your entire lunch just standing there by the results like, yeah, I'm cool.
You feel some of your classmates staring at you. Your charm went up. Wait, it's because you've been stood there like a half hour.
It's like, look at that guy. He doesn't eat lunch on his lunch break.
That's right, scold me, Sensei.
I mean, I'm not gonna kink shame.
I mean, we've been over this before. I am pretty hot for teacher.
Yeah, until teacher decides to fuse with their god and show that they have, like, no sense of thinking for themselves.
No, like, we turned against her before she fused with Aradia. She deserved to be criticised for that. There is no bullying.
There's no bullying here. God damn it, Chrono. Like how we both just thought of the same thing right at the same.
Why to listen to the best girl?
You meant to like... Yeah, I was like falling asleep in her class. That's definitely not a way to get the attention of best girl.
Want my academics to go up as well? Like, that's just not gonna happen.
It's like, man, I want my academics to go up. Falls asleep in class. Why isn't my academics going up?
Now, these always feel like wasted interactions.
You beat sticks with your friend. Your relationship might grow soon.
Sup, dude?
Oh, is Mitsuru not here? Or has she stood around somewhere doing something else?
Mitsuru has more important things to do.
Well, God, if I go to my room and she just stood there with a whip, I'm gonna be down for that. Akihiko will know where she is.
I was like, why would Akihiko know where she is? Has she been standing over in Akihiko's room with a whip?
No, she stands there with her sword and ice. That'll come up later. Let's go make fun of Junpei for being an idiot.
Man, I want you to get further in Persona. I mean, it's fucking Persona. I want you to get further in SMT5 because I want to hear your thoughts on one of the characters. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Oh, that's the matter, Junpei. You're sulking because you refuse to study and you got bad grades.
He's sulking because he's voiced by Vic Mignogna, or however the fuck you pronounce his name.
What do you want?
Okay, you're not Mitsuru. You're not allowed to be in our bedroom.
Yeah. Probably fucking should, shouldn't I? But just Arcana's too common to let reverse or break.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, if you hang out with him, your cat girl will improve.
Oh yeah, it's my cat. I like my cat girl. I'm gonna study.
Gotta make sure your cat girl gets better.
Then she can crush my head between her thighs. It's just an aspect of myself that is basically masturbation.
Not a thought I ever had before, but I can't say you're wrong.
Mm-hmm. Not friends, fuck off. I did really good. Really good. Because I am not an idiot. Junpei. You have a one-track mind. It's a one-track to piss everyone off. Well, I won't let it get to me. I won't let it drive me to improve myself in any way. You ever think it's weird that we all come from the same dorm and yet we all get to school separately?
Y'all all have to walk separately, because, like, if y'all walked at the... I guess if y'all walked together, everybody might talk. Everybody talked about the main character, apparently, like, hooked up with Yukari or whatever.
Yeah. Bitch, I might be.
It's like y'all live in the same dorm, but why y'all coming here together?
Yeah, I've not seen her naked or anything.
Yeah, unfortunately, we aren't level 10 yet, so...
Well, it's not the next full moon, it's the full moon after. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about. And that full moon is great in the manga, which I'll mention when we get there.
That's probably gonna be a while.
Yeah, I'll remember when we get there.
Workout, it's tough but fun. You don't see Kazushi, which is weird considering you walked in here with him.
Oh, hey.
What do you mean sneak into practice? We went into practice together. Where did you go? And how did it go?
It's like, don't tell anyone that I have a problem, okay?
Don't tell anybody that I have a problem, you know, that could seriously affect my well-being if I continue to train in kendo, thus being irresponsible.
Yeah, just don't worry about it. You know, everything's fine. Don't worry about it.
Your problem. Tell anybody about it, I'll kill your cat. Oh, you don't have a cat? Do you want me to buy you a cat?
I will buy you a cat just to do that.
It reminds me of the thing with J. Jonah Jameson. I think in one of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, somebody calls up or something and is like, "You're fired." It's like, "Oh, you don't work for me? You want a job? You're hired. You're fired." Like
Remember
J.K.
that.
Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson was fantastic. I'm a little concerned that the new one, bringing him back, looks like he's going to be more standoffish against Spider-Man rather than like a fun comedic aside.
Where have you been?
Your fucking business, Akihiko. I ask you where you've been with that boxing glove that you're constantly washing.
Is he washing it or is he
No, he's sewing it.
stitching it? Yeah. I always figured that that's what he was doing. He was stitching it up, and I was just like, what are you doing, Aki?
Oh, you're right, I don't feel well. Shit. Yeah.
Do you need to go to the bathroom? Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Chrono?
let's go pee. It's the men's restroom. Only you and Akihiko are allowed in. Gunpei goes outside like the dog he is. Damn.
You still don't feel well.
My dump was not big enough.
Damn.
Alright, well, it's time to go to bed. This has just been like a bad early setup for the stream so far. It's like, oh no, I fell asleep in class and I feel great, but we couldn't go to Tartarus that night, so I stayed up to study, and that made me feel ill, so I couldn't go to Tartarus the next night.
It's like every choice is just horrible. Meanwhile, I'm just sitting here like, turn back time!
If
It is your right as the person playing the game. If I could find a way.
If I could find a way. Oh, Mitsuru's actually.
Alright.
Look how high those
Mitsuru,
boots
you're-
are. I bet they're leather.
Alright, so we know where you side on the thing of leather or spandex, I guess.
Depends on
We-
the body
we just-
part.
Busy doing what? He's busy not being here. Okay.
The funny thing is, like, as we always do with this, of like, with teenagers, we all constantly masturbate. And they're thinking, like, busy doing what? Busy masturbating. And then this guy says, busy playing private dick. Which, like, he means, like, playing detective, but, like, private dick could be a code for masturbating.
It really could.
Well, nothing was accomplished.
Nothing was accomplished because somebody was off playing private dick.
Isn't it weird that a transfer student has been here for, like, a month is suddenly on student council? Especially
Yeah.
if, like, student council's a much bigger thing in Japan.
Mm-hmm. It's like just slightly.
Where's your evidence, smart guy? Take that!
It's like, don't you know this isn't Ace Attorney? I don't need evidence.
Objection. You think the disciplinary community actually has any real power? Gee, Shaun, you look like you want to say something. Do you? Yes, I certainly do. I have to go now. My planet needs me.
Just casually, just floats up.
Just casually just lifts my character and my character only out frame.
This guy seems like he has a bit of a control issue, just saying.
He needs to be a good dominatrix.
Wait, did you say he needs one or he is one?
He needs one.
Okay, yeah, probably.
The best way to deal with that kind of control issue is to have that control removed. In a sexy way. This is what happens when you roleplay as a teenager.
Man, teenagers really be out here wildin', though.
Yeah.
Like, you ever think back to half the conversations you had as a teen, and you're just like, what the fuck was I on about?
Well, bye.
Like, I was having a conversation with someone a couple weeks ago about, like, you ever have a moment where you're like, wow, I cannot believe I was as dense as a shonen anime protagonist. And I was like, oh yeah, you know, now that I think about it, like, the first girl I ever dated, like, we made out behind the bleachers at school, and then, like, later on, I was like, wow, I wonder if she likes me. I was like, wow, I was a stupid teenager.
Well, to be fair, if she's not got a banana in her pocket, how can you possibly tell?
I do like me some bananas, so I mean, that's a fair point.
If a girl doesn't sing share songs to you, how do you possibly know that she likes you? Alright, I need to deal with Akihiko's equipment. I bought him some stuff.
Nah, he's fine. He's over there just sewing his boxing glove all the time. I'm sure he's good.
Yeah, so I got him in a menacing vest and brass knuckles that he already has, for fuck's sake. But these have a low rate of crit.
It's like Junpei was mad that he couldn't have our spot in the team, so now he just gets bottom of the barrel stuff.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's just like, look, you almost got us killed because of this Junpei. Like, we're good, buddy.
Yeah, I would absolutely not put him on my team. After that, it would really be a case of like, no, you're off the team now. We can't trust you with our lives on the balance.
It's like, what do you mean our lives are in the balance? This is just a game, right?
But that really bothers me how nobody pulls Junpei up on that shit.
It's like nobody questions him about it. Nobody goes, hey Junpei, we could have died because of you, you know?
Yeah. And, you know, if we died, then that would have also led to a major disaster when the monorail car hit the fucking train, other train.
Yep. And also, if we died, then I guess the world is just kind of screwed, because obviously we're here to save the world. I mean, we're the protagonists.
Out comes Thanatos. Alright, let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah, so let's ignore all these enemies. We need to get to the next block. We didn't manage to hit that checkpoint last time. There it is.
Alright. Since we weren't able to finish up talking about it, like, 2 streams or whatever... Well, actually, last time we streamed Persona 3, conveniently enough, so I guess this is on, It still stays consistent between the Persona streams.
Yes, so anybody watching this later in the YouTube archive, in the Persona 3 playlist is fine.
Yep. Because we mentioned this last time we played Persona 3, but last week we actually started up Strange Journey, because we're kind of going in between things every other week. So, this still stays consistent. The Game Awards.
The Game Awards. Gaming's most pretentious piece of shit.
Yeah. Ain't that the truth? I forget what we had meant, like where we had stopped last time. So, do you want me to just kind of redo the categories and stuff?
Yes, but to begin with, there's the whole thing with Activision Blizzard there. And like, oh yeah, no, we condemn all the shit going on at Activision Blizzard, but also Bobby Kotick is still on the board.
Yep. And it's also the thing of, like, we condemn them, but, you know, we're still keeping their games among our nominations, so... It's like, we aren't removing them from the board, we aren't taking their games out of the nominations, and we just say we condemn them, but it's not like we're putting any actual effort towards the condemnation, you know?
Yeah. Alright,
because that's how reality works.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Oh, hi there, Lion.
How much shit has Bobby Kotick had to go? Be thrown against him already, and he's still not removed him from the position. This is gonna do it. It's the same thing with Ubisoft. Like, Ubisoft had the whole thing of, like, oh yeah, all this has happened. CEO of that still hasn't resigned. That's just died down. Nobody cares anymore.
Yeah, that's basically how it comes down to. People just... They want you to forget that there are things going on.
Alright, so, let's go with, what is it? We were doing it by categories?
Yes.
First category.
You have categories, which I know these ones we already did before, so I'm just going to read out the category name other than the names until we get to a point that's actually kind of relevant for us. Is that fair?
Yeah, sure.
So we have Best Esports Event.
That's still really fucking dumb.
Best Esports Coach.
Best guy to give a handy to fucking Todd Howard.
Best Esports Team.
What does that mean? Like the people who have won the most events? People who have performed the best? People who had
esports
the least
teams...
number of scandals this year?
The esports team, there seems to be one from Call of Duty, one from League of Legends, one from Counter-Strike Global Offense, one from Valorant, and one from Dota 2. Best esports athlete.
Really shouldn't call those athletes.
Best esports game. Best content creator of the year.
I noticed I wasn't nominated for that.
Yeah, that's the whole reason why the Game Awards needs to be burned, because Chrono wasn't nominated.
I mean, that makes me sound petty, and I am. But, like, there's definitely other reasons.
It's like, we're not petty for that reason. Best innovation and accessibility.
That's definitely not going to Nintendo.
No, I'll go ahead and read out the nominees for this category.
Is Nintendo there?
Still alive.
No. Oh. Far Cry 6, which is Ubisoft, obviously.
Okay, what is the innovation of accessibility there?
It's funny because it doesn't even list it. It just lists the game underneath of it. And I'm like, okay, what was the accessibility part?
Couldn't finish it off. Nice move. The enemy is
Forza Horizon 5 by Playground Games, Xbox Game Studios.
See, Forza I can understand because, like, having played Forza 2, Forza Horizon 2, like, that game is pretty big on the accessibility of it.
Use Garu skills against the enemy.
Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy by Eidos Montreal and Square Enix. And I know I probably butchered that name.
I think it's Eidos.
Eh.
Angel.
Still, again, it's like, oh, hey. Hey there, Angel. Still, I mean, like, I would kind of like to know where the whole accessibility bit comes in from when they're given these nominations, because I'm just like, the fuck was the accessibility?
Like I say with Forza Horizon, I played Forza Horizon 2 a bit, and, like, there's a lot of options in terms of how close it is to simulation to make it more and more accessible, rather than saying this is pure simulation. There's a lot of customization in that, which I think is really good. So I think it makes it more accessible in that way to more players by being more for everybody. If you get what I mean.
Yeah, I do.
I don't know what I've done.
2 enemies detected. Strike first. Roger.
Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart by Insomniac Games / Sony Interactive Entertainment.
It
Has
was
too
great.
many enters back to back.
That was great for accessibility of innovation because it had a woman.
Don't get careless.
Just the one though, like we don't need them getting two up to.
Oh god.
I say that, like, I have seen absolutely nothing of that game except the box art.
I mean, I agree with you.
You agree that I've seen absolutely nothing of the game except the box art?
No, I agree with you because I also have seen nothing of that game except the box art.
Ah, shit.
2 enemies detected. Roger. I'll attempt to analyze the enemy.
I ran out of coffee, so now I have to rely on ginger ale because that is my life. Are you questioning my life choices, Chrono?
No, fucking Akihiko isn't in the battle.
Akihiko, what the fuck?
Roger. I'll request
This is one of the problems with Persona 3 and FES, which I think was fixed in Portable. Like, he's probably gotten caught on a wall or something when we've gone into this fight. So he's technically out of range.
Collision.
Help me! This thing won't give up.
Alright, so the last one in the category for innovation and accessibility is The Veil, Shadow of the Crown.
I don't even know what that is.
I don't know either. It's by Creative Byte Studio / Falling Squirrel.
Way to hang in there.
Akihiko is the last one who can join us. 2 enemies remain.
Hell, why don't I actually look up what that game is? Why not? Let's do it.
This is weird.
No
Angel has
phone,
Garu,
I do
but
not want my
Hammer.
software update.
Angel has Garu, but not Hammer. She's learned Hammer at level 7. That's weird.
Well, I mean, she's born with wings at least, you know? I guess she would kind of need to know something dealing with wind, if you have wings. Alright, let me look up this game real quick.
God damn it.
I can do it. Takuba has defeated an enemy.
That's the last one.
If I can also take... There we go.
That one just won't die.
Giving it a moment.
I couldn't finish it off.
One enemy remains.
Start Akihiko and Akihiko.
Hang in there.
Apparently my phone is going to act up and not want to load things.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter anyway.
Alright, let's get back to the other one then. Don't care
Alrighty.
enough. Best community support. Which we all know what's probably going to win in that category, because I see Final Fantasy XIV right there, and hello to the expansion that just came out the last couple days.
Yeah, the Endwalker queues, like, they were warning of congestion, but apparently the queues like
3
4
enemies
digits.
present. Don't get careless.
Yep, I've seen that. Just like, god damn.
Weak against light. How fitting. Take the enemy down. Occupied is in danger.
Like people are like, why don't you play MMOs, Chance? And just, it's like,
Can you
I
revive
ain't got the time for that.
Or the subscription fee.
3
Or
enemies remain.
yeah, or the money for subscription fees.
That's the thing, like, with any subscription fee, you always feel like, and this is part of the reason why I stopped with, yeah, it's just with FF14. When you're paying for it, and you can only play it while you're paying for it, you feel like you've got to be spending as much time on it as possible, and you just get burnt out from it.
Yeah, because like while you're constantly paying for it, it's like anytime you're not putting into it, it's like, wow, I'm wasting money. I mean, I don't spend money on gacha games, like, at most, I've probably spent... Since I started playing Noble games, back in, like, 2015, I've probably spent $50 total on stuff. But it's one of those things of, like, you eventually just go, what the fuck am I doing? It's just like, why am I doing this to myself? Like, what's the point? It's also the frustrating thing of, like, knowing that if you upgrade phones, there's a very real potential that you could, like, lose all your data for a game, and you're just like, okay, why the fuck am I playing this?
Listen, I don't touch free-to-play for a lot of that reason.
Don't get careless.
It's also the thing of just out of nowhere, the game could just be like, oh, we're shutting down, bye.
Yeah, there goes all your money.
You're just like, it's like, cool. Not like I wasted my last 3 years of my life on this or whatever. I'm looking at you, Tales of Link.
Yeah, let's take a look at the games I've got on my phone. Because I got a new phone a few weeks ago, and it actually has decent internal memory. So I was able to just put the games that I've got on my phone, like, all at once. Honestly, I've got Ace Academy, which is a visual novel I paid for. Which I had on PC already, and I never finished. And I was like, you know, oh, it's on mobile, and it's on sale. Yeah, I'll grab that. Chrono Trigger Crystalline, which was another visual novel from the same people as Ace Academy. Cultist Simulator. Final Fantasy 3, the 3D remake. Final Fantasy 4, the 3D remake. Final Fantasy 5, Final Fantasy 6, Final Fantasy Tactics War of the Lions. Icewind Dale, Lara Croft Go, Planescape Torment Enhanced Edition, Star Wars Knights of the Republic, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, Traffics, and XCOM Enemy Within. I also have, like, I think all of the Infinity Engine games, so Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition, Baldur's Gate 2 Enhanced Edition, there's another one I can't think of.
I was about to be like, something tells me you like Final Fantasy.
No, I absolutely despise it. It's like the worst series I've ever seen.
Damn.
But no, the thing with the Final Fantasy games is they're actually fairly small. File size. Bear in mind, FF3 and 4 remakes were originally DS games anyway. And I got all of them on sale. I paid 50p for Symphony of the Night.
I mean, that's not bad.
Yeah. Never intend to play it because that kind of game with a touchscreen, no. But it was 50p and I was curious to see how well it worked.
Yeah, there's certain things that it's just like, oh, that's cheap enough. I can at least do it as like a test.
One more.
I mean, that does remind me, I finally bought the Kingdom Hearts Remind DLC over this last week because it actually went on sale, and I was like, oh, shit, I'm willing to pay $20, I guess, for that.
One enemy remains.
These enemies have done nothing but spam Mirage and fucking Ludo. Hate them. That fight was way too arduous.
Alright, so back to where we were in the Game Awards. My phone's being stupid. Not that. There we go. Alright. Games for Impact.
What the fuck does that even mean?
I don't really know, to be honest.
Like games that have had an impact on the industry in the last year?
I guess I'll read out the games for this category. Maybe you have a better input on it than I do.
Alright.
Before Your Eyes by Goodbye World Games / Skybound Games.
No idea what that is. Isn't Skybound
Boyfriend
Games
Dungeon.
the company that was put together from the remains of Telltale?
I'm trying to remember. I don't remember. Let me check real quick.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. God damn it.
Well, now you got me curious, so... I believe you were right. Skybound Entertainment is the company behind the long-running comic The Walking Dead. Interesting. In 2018, Skybound created Skybound Games to develop video games based on its intellectual property and Skybound Stories, a joint venture with Sky PLC.
So what else is in there?
On October 2018, due to the collapse of Telltale Games, Skybound Games announced that they would be working on finishing up the final 2 episodes of The Walking Dead, the final season.
I think
So that's your correlation there.
Yeah, I think there was a whole thing of that of like they were either taking on some of the people, but like a bunch of the people were being let go. Like, there was a whole thing about crediting the people who had worked on it and paying them.
Yeah. Like, now that you're mentioning this, I'm vaguely remembering it. Next, under that category of games for impact, you have Boyfriend Dungeon by Kit Fox Games.
Yeah, I've not heard of that.
I've heard of Boyfriend Dungeon. I'm vaguely aware of it, I should say. I remember that a part of it is like you can date your weapons.
Really? Again?
You okay?
It's twice in like 2 battles the main character's missed when it should have led to a chain leading to an all-out attack.
But if I remember correctly, Boyfriend Dungeon is the game where you're able to, like, date your weapons or something. I know there's a bit of controversy behind it because there's, like, a plot line in it that people are like, no, that's romanticizing something bad. And it's like, No, please put on your critical thinking hats.
Yeah. It's like, oh hey, fiction is allowed to do whatever the fuck it wants. How do you protest about that? You don't consume that media.
That was a close one.
You'll need to get past that.
I was gonna say, you saying that reminds me of a book I read in 9th grade. That was like a fantasy book.
Yes.
And at the very end of it, there was a page that you could rip out that said, if you don't like books like these and want them off your shelves, then take this, put it on a sign, and go protest at your local library. And it basically was like, down with fantasy. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? It's like you get through the entire book, and then at the end it's just like, oh, you hate my writing? Go protest it.
That reminds me of the whole Kevin Smith protesting his own movie thing.
Roger. I'll attempt to analyze the enemy.
Hey, you remember Dogma?
Yes, that's a good movie.
Yeah. One of the cinemas it was showing at, there were protesters, and Kevin Smith just joined the protesters and was actually interviewed as a protester.
Oh my god.
Like, why are you protesting this movie? And I was like, it's fucking ridiculous.
That's amazing. Holy shit. Like, that's the kind of nonsense that I would get up to if I was like a famous creator of some kind. I'd be like, oh, somebody's protesting my work, let me go join them. It's like, this author's shit! I'm like, hell yeah, I'm shit! Anyways. Chicory, A Colorful Tale.
Again, not heard of that, so...
Yeah, I haven't heard... I haven't heard of that game either. Life is Strange, True Colors.
Ah, yes, the Oscar bait game.
And No Longer Home.
Again, not heard of that. The only reason I've heard of Life is Strange, True Colors is because it's a new installment in a series that previously made waves.
Yeah. Like, I think it's the 4th game in the series now. Oh, fuck,
Life
Chrono.
is Strange, Before the Storm 2, I guess it would be the 4th, yeah. No, I did that on purpose, it's the best card there for me.
Oh, okay. I was like, go have fun with death, I suppose.
Yeah.
Oh, we're next to the stairs, whatever. Alrighty, best performance. And for this category, this is for the best like vocal performance of a character in the game.
Is Troy Baker in there?
Don't get careless.
No, he's not.
Oh, thank fucking god.
I have a feeling who might win though, because, well,
Can you use Zeo's skill?
enough of social media impact about it, but
3 enemies remain.
one of the options is Lady Dimitrescu. I don't know how to pronounce her name.
Lady Funbags.
The big booby lady from Resident Evil 8.
Do it again.
The Mommy
her.
Milkers. Lady Mommy Milkers.
Lady Mommy Milkers. That's who it is.
I was sick
But
of that
yeah.
before the game even came out. That's the problem with the internet. Like, yeah, let's take a funny joke and then just kill it for like 4 months. Anyway, continue.
But yeah, out of all the ones there, you have a nomination from Life is Strange True Color. There's a nomination from Far Cry 6, and 2 nominations from Deathloop, and then you have her from Resident Evil Village. Due to popularity, I have a feeling I know Resident Evil Village is gonna win, regardless of whatever.
Here's our chance for an all-out attack.
Next category, Best Audio Design.
This category has been complete bullshit to me. Like, ever since they gave that award to The Last of Us Part 2 instead of Doom Eternal. It's like, Doom Eternal's audio design was fucking immense.
Mm-hmm.
It was unbelievable. It was to the point when the composer said he wasn't coming back for the DLC, people were like, well, I'm not buying the DLC then.
Like, I feel people don't realize how much impact the audio of a game can really leave on you.
I said before, like, the best way to hit my nostalgia is audio.
Same here. And it's something that I've had issues with a lot of games lately, is that a lot of their audio has been more atmospheric, and it just doesn't leave enough of an impact on me that when I'm listening to the soundtrack that I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah, it's been
That.
like ever since orchestral music became kind of a standard, less of a focus on melody. And everything just becomes, like, a lot of stuff becomes very ambient instead. And it just doesn't stick out to you as much, so you don't notice it, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. And it's kind of unfortunate because, like, you can have some really great orchestral melodies. But it's very true that, like, with the way games are going, like, nowadays you have stuff that's more just kind of there.
Yeah.
Like, it's meant to fit in line with the atmosphere, but it also makes it not stand out as much.
That's the thing, like, it's kind of a lost art of having a melody, an ambient track that also has a good melody to it. Something that did
Like,
that really good with Metroid Prime.
Which, I guess this is where I'm going to kind of reveal myself a little bit in regards of, like, how much I will drain as much serotonin out of a video game soundtrack as possible if I love it. So Spotify Wrapped just happened. And I only really started listening to Spotify again about 4 months ago because of returning to work, needing something to listen to on the ride to work and all that. I've listened to about 18,000 minutes of music since 4 months ago. Almost 5,000 minutes of that has been The World Ends With You. And I was sitting there looking at that like, wait, what? Are you telling me that I've listened, like, a third of my music I've listened to for the last 4 months has been from The World Ends With You?
I haven't looked at my Spotify Wrapped yet. Let me take a look.
One enemy remains.
Top songs of 2021. What's Up Danger?
That's a good song.
Yeah, it's the one from Into the Spider-Verse.
Yep. I remember. Good song.
Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 12th most listened to song is a cover of Eye to Eye from the Goofy movie.
Amazing.
I'm not going to apologize for that.
I mean, no reason to apologize for it.
I've been waiting for this. Okay,
I set a playlist a little while back that was specifically just video game music, though.
that one just won't die.
I should do that.
Well, there's got
But
more and more video game soundtracks on Spotify now.
Yeah, like, places are actually being like, oh hey, maybe we should add our soundtrack to Spotify, and I appreciate that.
And none of
Like,
those
Persona
places are in
3 is on Spotify now.
What was that?
I was going to say, Persona 3 is on Spotify now.
None of those places are Nintendo, though. There we go.
That was easy.
So continue.
My phone went dark. Give me a sec. Alrighty. Best score and music. And I'm going to read out the categories. I mean, the nominations for this one, because it's relevant to something I want to talk about. So the nominations for Best Score in Music are Cyberpunk 2077.
Two distressed enemies detected.
Wasn't that mostly a licensed soundtrack?
It might be. Honestly, like, beyond certain things I know of Cyberpunk, I really could not care less.
Yeah.
One more.
Deathloop.
Here's our chance. Let's get him.
Near Replicant version 1.22474487139. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. And The Artful Escape.
Is the Artful Escape the choking indie game?
It might be.
Yeah.
So, two things I want to talk about here. One, I'm kind of surprised that Nier Replicant's on this list. Because the soundtrack is basically just an updated version of the original soundtrack, if I'm not mistaken. Like, I don't think there's any new stuff added to it.
Yeah, but, you know, the categories are all bullshit anyway, so that's not gonna matter.
Yeah. I do also find it hilarious because Yoko Taro was just like, please stop nominating Okabe for stuff. His ego doesn't need to be stroked.
Defeated an enemy.
Like, he straight up, like, made a tweet about that. I was just like, oh my god.
We did it.
The other thing is, like, it's probably really obvious what game I feel is Game of the Year for myself.
Oh, we get into Game of the Year now?
No. I'm just saying, it's obvious what game I feel for myself is Game of the Year.
Should we go with Sensei 5, yeah.
Yeah, totally. I haven't beaten it yet. I'm only 14 hours into it. But that's
Well,
a whole
you've
other
got-
thing. Yeah, I still have like 3 weeks before the end of the
Yeah,
year.
like 26 days.
Yeah, I can do it.
You can do it, put your back
As-
into it. I can do it, put your back
As long
into
as I stop falling asleep while grinding, I can do it.
I feel that.
But no, it's a thing of, like, I'm kind of surprised that Neo: The World Ends With You was not nominated for score and music. Because, yeah, it has a lot of, like, vocal tracks in it, but they aren't licensed tracks from somewhere else. Like, they're songs that were made specifically for the game. Like, it's kind of in line...
Detected.
What?
Roger. I'll attempt to
Hogan.
analyze the enemy.
It's Hulk Hogan.
What you gonna do when Hogan stops you from climbing the towers, brother? Remember Outlet, these fuckers just such a pain to take out.
You attacked the enemy's
They
weak
are.
point. One more.
But at least they do have a weakness you can hit.
Yeah.
Attack again.
I've been waiting.
Alright, so
Unleash-
you were saying?
Yeah. I was gonna say, I'm just kind of surprised that Neo: The World Ends With You wasn't nominated for score and music. But then again, it wasn't nominated for anything,
Fucking
Is in
hell.
danger.
which really surprises me. Yes,
Be careful.
it's Hulk
Iori is
Hogan
severely
bullshit.
injured. Two enemies remain. Don't get careless.
But that's just my main complaints for best score in music. And even though I complain about, like, Nier getting a nomination here, I love the hell out of the original Nier.
Be careful. Iori
And I
is
just
severely
finally got
injured.
Replicant due to a really good sale I came across. I missed the $15
Enemy
sale,
recovered.
but I did happen to find it somewhere else for $20, so yay for finally being able to play that whenever I'm done with SMT5. Meanwhile, it's like, whenever I'm done with SMT5, and then when I'm done with No More Heroes 3, and then when I'm done with Astral Chain, and then when I'm done with Check's List.
I got No More Heroes 1 and 2 a little while back on a sale on Switch. With the intention of, like, finally going through them. I think, God knows when that's gonna be.
My biggest problem at the moment is trying to find Travis Strikes Back. Because of how expensive it is secondhand, I might have to fall back into importing an Asian copy that does have English, like, subtitles and voicing in it. And it's, like, kind of funny when you think about it. It's like, wow, it's cheaper to import a brand new Asian copy than it is to buy a secondhand English copy.
Ah, that's been my thing with stuff before. Like, my copies of Devil Summoner 1 and 2 on PS2. It was cheaper for me to buy Devil Summoner 1 and 2 American versions. Bear in mind, the second one wasn't released over here in Europe. It was cheaper for me to buy brand new sealed copies of Devil Summoner 1 and 2 than it was for me to... It was cheaper for me to import brand new American copies of Devil Summoner 1 and 2 than it was for me to buy a second-hand copy of Devil Summoner 1 from the UK.
Damn.
And similar thing with Chrono Trigger on DS. My Chrono Trigger on DS is a US copy because it was cheaper to buy a brand new US copy than it was to buy a second-hand UK copy. That's fucking useless to me. Would you like to double up? Yeah, sure. Here is 2 personas you already have. Hey, Kira.
It's like, well, thanks. It's an avocado. I don't need it.
Makes me feel so free, so alive. It makes me want to survive. How you doing, Kira?
Anyways, next category. Best Art Direction. Is there a game that you would nominate this year for Best Art Direction, Chrono?
Ah, shit. What games actually came out this year? That's the real question.
I mean, I would nominate one, but it's not on here.
SMT5 did have some really good art direction, but the series generally does, so yeah, no, I'd go with that. GTA.
Yeah, see, SMT5 is one of the ones that I would say, yeah, sure, throw that on that category list. Spoiler alert, it's not on the category list.
Doesn't surprise me. And Kira over there, like, yeah, no, put GTA the Definitive Edition on there. The weird thing with the Definitive Edition and GTA, you can't buy them separately. They all come together. You have to buy the pack. They're not available separately. San Andreas on its own is available on Game Pass.
That's stupid.
It's really weird. Because like I say, like, you can't get them separately otherwise. Alright, so what are the nominations?
The nominations for Best Art Direction are Deathloop, Kenya Bridge of Spirits,
Okay.
Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and The Artful Escape. So those are your 5 nominations.
Look at this fucking shadow playing with me like that.
The Shadow's just chilling there like, come on bro, come over here.
3 enemies present. Don't get careless.
Isn't Deathloop a next-gen exclusive?
I think it is. It's one of those games of I am too poor to buy a next-gen system, so I haven't really been paying attention.
I don't think it's even about being too poor. There's just not enough to justify it yet. People are going crazy for the next-gen systems. It's like, what is there to play on them?
I mean, Tales of Arise, but it's also on PS4,
Yeah.
so...
Don't overdo it.
Yes, you evaded the enemy's attack.
The next category is Most Anticipated Game.
That's a dumb.
What is your most anticipated game, Chrono?
Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga.
Yeah, that's not on here.
Yeah, it didn't surprise me. Game Awards don't represent the people. There you go, Kira's contributed.
Hell yeah! That is a great game. Like, that's something I'm looking forward to, like a spiritual successor to Jet Set Radio.
Jet Set Radio.
Still alive.
Like that is a game I am most definitely looking forward to. You get applause for that. Bomb Rush Cyberpunk.
That actually reminds me, like, it's
Unfortunately,
weird the Jet Set Radio Future hasn't been added to backwards compatibility for Xbox.
it was backwards compatible for the 360.
Yeah, but not for Xbox One.
Lame.
I'd be down to try it, if it was.
Mm-hmm.
One more.
Yeah, but Kira's also a Sonic fan, so you have to, like, accept that he might just be into Sega.
Couldn't finish it off.
One enemy remains.
Nice to carry on. Most anticipated.
I was gonna say, Jet Set Radio has an amazing soundtrack as well. Like, that's another game, like,
Finish it off.
I mentioned it, I'm pretty sure I mentioned it in one of the last few streams, of, there's just games that have, like, a vibe to it, and I kind of want to know what genre that vibe would be, because they don't have the same gameplay. Their gameplay is very different, but it's just, they have hype soundtracks and art design, and it's just like, I want to know this genre. It speaks to me.
Can you show me? Yeah, I wanna know about this genre like me.
And it falls into Jet Set Radio, The World Ends With You, Splatoon, like those type of categories. Like, I'm just like, I need to know, because whatever it is that ties all this together, that's my jam.
Oh, fucking.
Two strong enemies.
Oh, Hulk Hogan is going to wreck your shit.
Fury is in danger.
Or not. Maybe not. I wish you the best of luck, Chrono.
Run away. Run away.
Run away! Alright.
This is the help that
So-
we're all pretty much out of SP except Junpei was fucking worthless.
So, the nominations for most anticipated game. Elden Ring,
Ugh.
God of War Ragnarok,
Hmm.
Horizon Forbidden West,
Really? Who gives a fuck about that?
Starfield, Untitled sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
The fact that I still didn't have a title is fucking dumb.
It's funny seeing all the conspiracy theories about, oh, I think this is going to be the next title of the game, and I'm just like, that's one of the dumbest sounding things I've ever heard.
Untitled sequel, Pickle Rick. Legend of Zelda, Pickle Rick.
Next category, Best Multiplayer.
I want to go back to the, most anticipated for a minute. The
Okay, go ahead.
absolute bullshit of all of that. It's like the most basic AAA bullshit. Oh yeah, all these big AAA franchises, everybody's so hyped for the next thing. Bethesda's doing something that isn't Skyrim. And they're not ruining fucking Fallout anymore. Let's get hyped. FromSoft is doing something new that'll probably be another Dark Souls thing. Let's get hyped.
It's like Dark Souls, but somewhere that's not Dark Souls setting.
Yeah. And like Horizon Forbidden West is like, okay, what was Horizon except another one of the generic bland as fuck open world whatever games?
I mean, it's a game that I'll eventually get around to playing.
I've got Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition, and every time I think about starting, it's like, how long is this actually going to take? How much of it am I going to enjoy? It's really because, like, how bored am I going to be playing this? Yeah,
I think it comes down to the fact of there have been so many games lately that have just been like, open world!
Yeah.
Open world! And it's just like, oh, okay.
I was talking about this with Prince of Persia when I was doing that on Thursday. Like why I prefer Prince of Persia over Assassin's Creed. Because Prince of Persia being linear and having a focused design lends itself to way more entertaining gameplay than just open world design. Stuff like the Dahaka chases in Warrior Within are way more interesting and intense than any chase you get in any of the Assassin's Creed games. Because with the open world design, if you could just immediately turn to the left and run in that direction, so they have to have a limit on how far you can get before they'll stop chasing you. Which means if the game fucks up a little bit, you'll immediately just lose somebody. As opposed to the scripted linear design of the Dahaka chases, which are tense and a lot of fun.
The Dahaka chases scared the shit out of me as a little kid.
Love Warrior Within. It's the main reason why I did Sands of Time, so we can have Warrior Within open to do.
Like, Warrior Within is a good game, even if it's the edgy, like, sibling.
It was something we got into during the Sands of Time playthrough. Talk about preferred games in the series. I think Titanium said, like, his favourite was Two Thrones.
Two Thrones was good.
Yeah, somebody else said their favourite was Sands of Time. My favourite is Warrior Within, entirely because of the gameplay. Presentation-wise, it's the weakest, undeniably. The voice acting's gruffer and less interesting. The characters are boring. The music is less environmental and atmospheric. It's all just generic butt rock. There's a metal thong in there. And it's like environments are all mostly grey and dull. But the gameplay itself is the best in the series, and that's why it's my preferred. Hey, Teak.
Hi, Atik.
I did play God of War, whatever year that came out. Norse of War, God of Norse, Dad of Boy.
Dad of Boy.
Yeah, that was the
Not
name I saw
wrong.
floating around for a while. And it's the best way to differentiate it.
It's like,
Modders! Thank you, Teak. I played it and I enjoyed it, and I'll admit, like, of that list, the one I'm most interested in would be God of War Ragnarok. But that's mostly because of, like, I enjoyed that well enough, and the gameplay was decent. And it does have an open world design, but it never forced me to partake in any of it. I played that game as if it was linear, and I enjoyed it way better for that. And when I was done with the story, I didn't go to explore the open world and do anything, I just stopped playing it. And I had a good time with it.
See, that's something that's good, because it's like, if you love a game, then yeah, you have all this extra space that you can explore, but aside from that, like, you have to get to the point of loving the game in the first place.
Too many games these days are focused on trying to make you spend 100+ hours on them.
It's like, do you realize how many games are coming out? Like, I got shit I gotta do.
It's not even just that. It's like you end up with these games of you're not going to finish them. You're going to get bored of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, who's finished Skyrim? Maybe like a handful of people who are just insane. Versus everybody else who got bored of it and then restarted it at a later point. I have not been paying attention to this guy. I really hope he doesn't ask me something. It's like Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I enjoyed it well enough. No, I'm gonna stay awake. I want the academics. I enjoyed Assassin's Creed Odyssey well enough. Mostly for its setting and its characters. But once they started introducing the Assassin's Creed bullshit to the plot, the pieces of Eden started coming back, and it was like, I'm losing interest in this fast. So then I turned around and ignored all of that, and focused on entirely on the Greek stuff. And I enjoyed it well enough, and I finished the main story, and I finished the cult story. And by that point, I was like 70 hours into the game. And I just ended up stopping. I was bored of it. The gameplay, I enjoyed the story, and the gameplay was inoffensive enough, but it wasn't good enough to keep me playing. After that point. Plus the level scaling bullshit.
I was gonna say, there's still games that do the whole level scale.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed Odyssey has a thing of like, there's the leveling system. You get new equipment, you have to level up, and there's stuff that you shouldn't take on before a certain level. Because if you do, you'll get demolished. But the enemies scale with you. So it's a case of like, I hit level 50. And did stuff like, I took down the greatest mercenary in the land. And then there are mercenaries who are coming along who are higher level than me. Who are apparently better than the greatest mercenary in the land. And so your fights are just, like, your fights are drawn out as fuck. Because their health bars keep getting bigger. And you're getting better weapons and stuff, but their health bars keep getting bigger. So the increased numbers you're dealing with in damage are completely counteracted by the increased numbers they get in health.
That seems really dumb.
It's not even a balancing act. The fights just keep getting longer and longer, and the combat is not good enough to keep doing that. So I eventually just stopped. That's a weird reaction to have.
Alright, you want to go on to the next category?
Yeah, go for it.
Best multiplayer. Which, I mean, I'm sitting here like, I don't really play multiplayer games in the first place.
Hit me with it.
Back for Blood.
Didn't that have like a load of issues and people complained like crazy about it?
I think. Like I said, I don't do multiplayer.
There you
Not
go.
really.
Now Kenji's revealing that he's hot for teacher.
Hey, Kenji!
Wait,
hot
no,
for
he revealed
teacher.
that
Yay.
earlier, now he's revealing which teacher.
True.
She's not the most
She's
beautiful
not the
one,
most beautiful.
but she's really
Still
cute.
hot for teacher, though.
Yeah. But you know what? When you fall in love, she is the most beautiful woman. That's what love is.
It's
You're
like,
the only one who knows.
they're-
You and everyone
if you-
else in this ramen bar.
mhm.
Alright, so Back for Blood.
It Takes Two.
Ah yes, the game that Take-Two is trying to sue out of existence for daring
Yep.
to have a similar name.
Which I read that I think yesterday, and I was like, is this for real?
Take-Two have been getting like worse and worse about trying to sue people over shit, and that is one of the most ridiculous things.
Knockout City.
Isn't that the EA Dodgeball free-to-play thing?
Welcome back.
Yes.
I only know what that is because it popped up during the Nintendo Direct. I was like, oh, it's kind of neat, free-to-play. Well, bye.
Monster Hunter Rise.
I played the demo for that, and the demo was one of the worst things to do because it doesn't explain how to play the game at all.
They just expect if you're playing the game, you're probably a fan of the series and already know what to do.
It's the dumb thing.
Like, why?
The trial version for Monster Hunter Stories 2, like, it's just like a large chunk of the opening of the game, so that teaches you how to play it.
Like, I feel like if you're gonna have a demo for a game, you should basically be like, okay, here's the first 2 or 3 hours of the game, depending on the length of your game, of course. Have at it now. Because at least now it's like, oh yeah, you get the explanation of what the fuck you're supposed to do.
It's important to know how to play the game. And if you're just going to keep player in the dark, that's not going to be a good first impression.
New World by Amazon Games.
Didn't that start burning through players like a month after it came out?
I think it
Let's go with
did.
Tartarus. They didn't do much for it. Yeah, that's not great. After how much support Monster Hunter World got for so long, that's disappointing to hear. Through GPUs, goddamn. Still, best multiplayer.
Best multiplayer.
Is that all the nominations for that category?
There's one more. The last one is Valim... I'm probably butchering that name. But by Iron Gate Studio.
What is it?
Valheim.
Oh, Valheim.
Valheim.
Yeah, Valheim.
I had to think for a second. I'm like, wait, yeah, I am butchering that name.
Valheim.
Valheim! We have the princess named Val, obviously. Valheim-sama. Okay, I'm just gonna shut my mouth while I'm ahead. You just kind of chilling there, Chrono?
Yeah.
Wanting to take a ride on Mitsuru's bike?
No, I'm more submissive. Want to be Mitsuru's bike.
You want to be Mitsuru's bike? Making seductive motorcycle voices over here.
Vroom vroom. Alright, let's go.
Okay. The next category is Best Sim/Strategy. Do you want me to read out the...
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Age of Empires 4.
Yeah,
Evil
right, yeah.
Genius 2. World Domination.
Hasn't that been out for like a week?
I think it's been out for a month at this point. Because I think you made... I vaguely remember you making a comment about that last time. Humankind.
I'll attempt to analyze the enemy.
Inscription. and Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Thanks, Mitsuru. Those damage numbers aren't good. I really don't feel like we can outgrind that.
Uh-oh.
My turn.
I always hate dealing with the Tartarus bosses because they always feel like bullshit.
And it's like, well, I ain't getting past this one anytime soon, and unless something happens. Best sports/racing game.
Those are two different things. What was better, FIFA 22 or Forza Horizon 5? Those are two completely different games.
It's funny you say that, because both of those are on the nominees.
Of course they are.
And aside from those two, you have F1 2021, Hot Wheels Unleashed, and Riders Republic.
So you notice it's one sports game and 4 racing games.
They didn't have enough to round out the category, obviously.
What, did Madden not come
Or
out
else it
this
was
year?
just gonna... Or else it was just gonna end up being a thing of like, wow, everything nominated is just EA Sports, because who the fuck else makes sports games? Best family.
Yeah.
It Takes Two,
Make a thing go right.
Help me!
Mario Party Superstars,
This thing won't give up!
New Pokemon Snap, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, WarioWare Get It Together. And if you weren't paying attention, 4 of these are Nintendo titles.
And again,
So
it becomes a
basically,
case of
this
like,
is...
by best family you mean best game that isn't rated 12 or up.
Mm-hmm.
Because those are all completely different games.
Best game that you can play with your little kid, I guess. Need a game that doesn't have like a super, like, elaborate story or something that needs a lot of reading comprehension? Just pick up a game with the name Mario in it, you're good.
Yep. God knows, like, oh, does it have any kind of story to it? Well, Miyamoto will take care of that.
Rip.
Don't overdo it.
Well, that's what I'm saying, Steve. Like, I don't think it's family is in games you can play with the family. I think it's family is in games that are rated under 12. Yeah, I
Forget
figured
about
that
using
happened.
fire.
Needed the confirmation.
Hang in there!
And since they seem to resist Slash, it makes Junpei worthless here.
Best debut indie title. Kina, Bridge of Spirits. Sable. The Artful Escape. The Forgotten City. And Valheim.
Don't overdo it.
Be aware that Akihiko is
Yeah,
severely
Junpei
injured.
is absolutely worthless here. He can't heal, he can't do any damage really to the enemies.
You can up your
Rakikaja
defense at
buffs
least.
defense. Rakikaja buffs defense for one character for 3 turns.
Rip.
Yeah, that's right. Persona's better than Shunning in Return, so. Alright, next category.
Best fighting.
Hawkeye is in danger!
We got Demon Slayer,
Not good. Takeba's down.
Guilty Gear Strive, Melty Blood Type Lumina, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, and Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown.
What was the third one you said?
Melty Blood Type Lumina.
Is that a new game or a revision?
I think it's a new game in the series. Like, I knew of Melty Blood years ago. Because, like, I knew of it via a manga I found, if I remember correctly. But beyond that, I didn't know it was like an actual fighting game related thing until recently. Like, that kind of really blew my mind when I found out about that.
Nice timing.
Alright, now we're...
Virtual Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown is a re-release.
I thought about that. I'm like, isn't Virtual Fighter 5 a re-release?
Yeah, I've got Virtual Fighter 5 for Xbox 360.
That's what I thought. I was like, I'm pretty sure that game came out before.
Fun game, actually. Kind of thing that makes me feel like, you know, I would like to get into Virtual Fighter. Never going to, but, you know, I think it'd be neat. Next category.
So this next category is the one that we actually are intrigued in. Take a guess, Chrono.
Best porn game.
Damn.
Don't overdo
If
it.
only.
Other porn
Best
games.
role-playing game.
People need to stop being such prudes and like actually just do some fucking porn games. Do it, you fucking cowards.
Like, that would be a hell of a thing. Just be like, oh yeah, best porn. You're just like, wait, what?
Yeah. Stop shaming people for it and just fucking embrace it. Can't just let the like really low quality porn visual novels have control over it.
I mean, there's some interesting visual novels out there.
Yeah, but the porn ones are all garbage, and you know they are.
This isn't good. Your help. Be careful.
Really wish they'd attack Junpei more often. Like, beyond the usual thing of like, fuck Junpei, he resists fire.
Oh yeah, I kind of forgot about that. That Junpei resists fire.
Defeat it.
So yeah, go ahead, attack Junpei. That would make this battle a lot easier.
That's your chance.
I should just restart this game.
Remember that week or so when Honey Pop came out and everybody was like, oh yeah, it's okay to play porn games.
The thing with Honey Pop that really helped it was like, it was basically a Bejeweled clone, but it had decent writing as well. Essentially, it was basically a harem thing. Like a lot of these things are gonna end up being. But it had decent writing, and that really helped it. Yeah, I played the Honey Pop. I got it super cheap on Indie Gala, I think. I got it super cheap somehow. It was like, let's see what all the fuss is about. I'm absolutely not ashamed, I don't care.
So, for best role-playing game, we have Cyberpunk 2077.
Ah yes, the game that didn't work.
Which frustrates me because I'm just like,
Exploited the enemy's weakness.
I feel like they basically put that one there because if they didn't, all of the recommendations were going to be
You
Japanese
exploited
games.
the enemy's weakness.
And they were like, oh, can't have that.
What about something like Bug Fables? Isn't that an RPG?
I think it is.
Yeah, Bug Fables.
Occupies in danger.
Oh no, that's indie.
You
We can't
can't-
have too much indie representation.
No, can't have that. You gotta stroke the AAA dick, you know.
Otherwise, they might pull our funding.
After all, I mean, we condemn Activision here, you know.
Yeah, I can them a lot of things. Look forward to the Chrono. I should actually do Chrono Awards.
Do the Chrono
Do
Awards.
the Chrono Awards. Best game I didn't care about.
Excuse me. So continuing on, best role playing. You have Monster Hunter Rise, Scarlet Nexus,
I still don't
Shin
even know
Megami
what that
Tensei
really
5.
is.
What?
I still don't even know what Scarlet Nexus really is. I thought for a while that was a PS5 exclusive.
I bought it shortly after it came out. I managed to get it on sale for like $25 like 2 weeks after it came out. I had stupid coupons to use.
Well,
And I was just like, what the fuck? Oh, damn. I know Meg said Scarlet Nexus is her game of the year.
You guys could like heal me, that'd be nice.
Don't overdo it.
I think like one of the big problems with the Game Awards and like the main reason why we're highlighting this is just the Game Awards is such a load of pretentious shit.
That one just won't die.
And the last was SMT5, the last one.
A wisely
No.
chosen attack.
Tales of Arise is the last one. It's the only one I've played out of this list is Shin Megami Tensei 5. I haven't even started Tales of Arise yet. I'm a bad Tales fan, I know.
Takeba is badly injured.
I just... People have told me that, like, Tales of Arise is really good, and I'm just sitting here like, even though I own it, and I bought it, I reluctantly bought it, I just can't get myself to start it for some reason. Like, everything that they showed prior to the release of it, I was just kind of sitting there like, you had the same vibe in with me, Chief.
That one just won't die.
This isn't my Tales.
Back in my day, skits were 2D.
Back in my day, skits weren't voiced.
They were voiced in the Japanese versions.
Keep up the good work.
We could have gone through that a lot better.
Hey, you made it through at least.
Yeah, they were weak to ice. If I started throwing that
Yeah,
down at the beginning, that would have actually really fucking helped.
Yeah, that sounds like a Mitsuru problem.
Yeah.
Moving on though.
Moving on.
Best action. Moving on. Best action adventure title.
Right, now we have to try and define what action adventure actually fucking means.
Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
Metroid Dread.
Completely different game.
Psychonauts 2.
Completely different game.
Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Probably like close enough to Psychonauts 2, platformer.
Resident Evil Village.
Completely different fucking game.
Nobody knows what action adventure means.
It's a catch-all
They're just
term
like-
for anything.
It's just like, we don't know what the fuck this game is. It's action adventure. We're good. Whatever. Move on.
Well, it's the thing of like, we didn't want to give these games their own category. Best platformer, best horror game. Because then we would have had to do some fucking research instead of seeing like, what have we been paid to promote here?
Mm-hmm. And it's funny because what the next category is.
Oh boy.
Best action game. So you have best action adventure and then best action. And the fact that you have both of those kind of makes me laugh.
Yeah, I'd just do stuff like put things like the Quake remaster in there just to fuck with people. What's that? One of the best games of this year was a remaster of a game from '96? Yes. Was it really? I don't know and I don't care. I got the Quake remaster on Switch when it was on sale. I've never actually played Quake before. Well, I'm down. Don't really care if they remaster Quake 2, honestly. Like Quake 1, oh yeah. There's a fun thing, like Quake 1 was also Lovecraftian for some reason. People get that because Quake 2 went with a completely different thing with like generic aliens and space marines fighting the aliens, but Quake 1 was Lovecraftian. Alright, so action. What do you got for us?
Back for Blood. Chivalry 2. Deathloop. Far Cry 6.
One enemy detected.
And Returnal.
I'll attempt to
So,
analyze
aren't those
the
all
enemy.
first-person shooters except Returnal?
Possibly. I am not big on first-person stuff because it tends to, most of the time, give me
Weak against
motion sickness.
Well, you should have thought about that before we started Strange Journey.
Yeah, surprisingly enough, Strange Journey isn't setting that off. Yet. Meanwhile, it's like 4 streams later, I'm just over here like, give me a second, getting sick over to
three
the side.
enemies present. Don't get careless. Roger. I'll attempt to
Again, like,
analyze
these
the
categories are just absolutely bullshit.
enemy. The enemy is vulnerable. Keep going.
Good job.
We should do the Chrono Wars and just have them like full of completely pointless categories. Best game name.
Best game name.
Best RPG
Like, we should really-
that wasn't from Atlas.
Like, we really should just come up with the dumbest category names. Just dedicate a day and be like, welcome to mecha-chrono stream. Today we are doing the Chrono Awards.
The best game that took 20 weeks to complete. Spoiler warning, it's not Final Fantasy IV.
Best game that took me over a year to complete that I still haven't completed. I'm sure
Final Fantasy
Chrono can
IV.
throw it in. I'm sure Chrono can throw out a name for me on that.
Oracle of Seasons.
I beat Oracle of Seasons. I
Yeah,
was
but
expecting
it
you to
took
say
like
Skies of
over a year.
Arcadia. No, take me over a year for Oracle of
You
Seasons.
you spent like 4 streams in that one dungeon.
Well, you ain't wrong, okay? That one boss can fuck the hell
The enemy
off.
is vulnerable. Keep going.
I'm just there like, you know, at some point I should probably go through the handheld Zeldas because I've never beaten them before. And I watched ChanceEm play Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons. Like, you know what? Okay, actually.
That one boss was complete bullshit. Took me 3 streams to just beat that one boss. Like, I was hitting my head over a wall because of that bullshit.
Oh, a new Persona.
Oh hey, new Persona.
Unfortunately, it's one of the Matamas, but you know.
Yeah, fuck the Matamas. I keep trying to fight them in SMT5 and they keep running away. I'm like, you know what? Fuck you.
Yeah, those are the XP money miracle boosters in SMT5.
Yep.
You buy the DLC
It's just like-
for it, and it gives you the option to increase how often they appear.
Oh, damn. They're appearing pretty often already for me. It's just, I'm not getting anything from them because they changed their weaknesses, and I'm just like, wow, every attack I do is not hitting your weakness. Amazing. No, I was expecting you to say Skies of Arcadia because I still haven't beaten it.
Well, to be fair, neither have I. I just stopped playing it partway through the year.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened with me.
I can also blame you for it, though.
Damn. Yeah, I know. You were wanting me to get past a certain part.
Yeah, I was like, you know, be ahead of me on it.
Yeah, I kind of fucked that one up.
I think I got through the Dark Rift before you did.
You did.
And, like, I just ended on the other side of the Dark Rift.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
No, it's fine. After the Dark Rift, like, I just completely lost my motivation for it. I'll go back to it at some point, because I do want to finish that Fight for Legends run.
Mm-hmm. I feel bad, because Skies of Arcadia is good, it's just 2021 has been fucking awful.
Okay.
Anyways, though.
Look at that. You know what that means?
Death is like, okay. Yeah, Death is just kind of like, you've spent a little bit too long in my tower. Get the fuck out.
No, the blanked out persona card means it's too high a level.
Oh wow, hold up. So I had my laptop leaning back a little bit too far, and I thought all of them had the death symbol on it.
I've been saying that since like 2013. Like, why won't Sega just port Skies of Arcadia? Like, why the fuck did Jet Set Radio get a HD port before Skies of Arcadia did?
Honestly, there's a lot of games I just kind of sit there and be like, why the fuck hasn't been properly ported yet?
Why didn't Sega just make a Panzer Dragoon collection?
That's also a very valid question.
Don't get careless. Roger. I'll attempt to analyze the enemy.
Next category, though. Best VR/AR.
Oh yeah, look forward to like all 3 games that will qualify for that.
You got Hitman 3.
That's a VR game?
Still alive.
I guess.
Weakness is ice. Iori is frozen.
I Expect You to Die 2.
I'll attempt to analyze the enemy. I can do it.
Lone Echo 2. And my phone screen goes dark. Thanks, phone. Not like I was reading or anything.
I really
Resident
need
Evil.
to do Echo.
Resident Evil 4.
Attack again.
All right, good job.
And Sniper Elite
2
VR.
enemies remain.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
That one just won't.
The enemy's weakness is.
So that's VR/AR category.
Akihiko
Yeah,
has
nothing
defeated an
particularly
enemy.
spectacular.
This thing won't give up. One enemy remains.
Best mobile game,
Oh boy.
which are I already have a feeling I know what's gonna win from this.
Bad, huh?
Fantasian, which actually looks really fucking awesome. I'm just not into mobile games. Sad.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's just done. I should just fuse her.
Genshin Impact.
The fact they count that as a
Which-
mobile game is fucking hilarious.
It is, because like it doesn't really run that well on mobile phones, but hey, it's available on mobile phones. It's basically just a gacha game, but for gaming consoles, because mobile doesn't run worth shit. I actually had a friend
interested
recently.
in that when it was like before it came out, and it was like free
Yeah.
to play, and I was just like, oh.
I'll attempt to analyze the
Like, that's how I was too, is like, I was interested in it before it came out. I actually downloaded it on PS4, but I never started it up because I saw what it actually was, and saw the bullshit drama from the fandom, and was just kind of like, you know, I'm good. I have friends lately that are like, come on, please, play it with me, and I'm just like,
Well, Clint's been spending a bunch of time on it, and I've seen Phazon do a few streams on it, and it looks like something that could be fun if I wanted to put the time into it. I absolutely don't. I know sooner or later I'll hit that price barrier.
It sucks because on one hand, I'm like, yeah, playing games with friends. That's something I would absolutely love. But then I'm just like, the other drawbacks that come with that.
Yeah. It's like, oh hey, I've got friends asking me to play Halo. I actually paid for Halo, so you know, that's definitely probably a better idea. It's really the thing, like, you can go, oh yeah, it's free to play, so just pick it up, it's not going to cost you anything. It's like, I have so many games I've actually paid for, though.
I'll attempt to
I'm
Yeah,
not
it's like I
playing.
have stuff already though.
Yeah. It's like, oh, if I put money down for them, surely it's a better use of my time to play the ones I paid for.
It's still alive.
4 enemies remain. Stay cautious.
Because otherwise, that's basically a waste of money.
Fire is effective.
Mm-hmm.
You see that? Akihiko's weak to ice.
Oh, I guess that might be why he's into Mitsuru.
I think he's
He's
actually
into
into
Mitsuru, right?
Be aware that Akihiko
Lame.
is severely injured.
He's missing out.
I think he's into
Exploited
Shinjiro
the enemy's weakness.
Now's our chance.
I mean, fair,
and Protein.
fair.
The enemy is vulnerable. Keep going.
It's like we haven't got to Shinji yet. But, Shinji, best boy.
You struck the enemy's weak point.
I mean, he's had a cameo, but, you know, he's not actually properly done anything yet.
That was a difficult battle.
Getting back to best mobile game. League of Legends Wild Rift. Marvel Future Revolution. And Pokemon Unite. Best indie title. Which I find it weird that we have best indie title and best debut indie.
Yeah.
One enemy detected.
But I digress.
Be
12
aware that
minutes.
Akihiko is severely injured.
Death's Door. Inscription.
You struck
Loop
the enemy's
Heroes.
weak point. Here's our chance for an all
And Kina, Bridge of Spirits.
You have the potential to grow even stronger.
Best Narrative. Deathloop. It Takes Two. Life is Strange True Colors. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Psychonauts 2.
Okay.
Best Ongoing. Apex Legends. Call of Duty Warzone.
2 enemies detected. Strike first.
Final Fantasy XIV Online. Fortnite. And Genshin Impact.
Yeah, I feel like with all of these, like, best ongoing, as long as 14's still ongoing, it should always win. Because 14 is the only one of those you have to pay to play, and it's still pulling in millions of players.
To the point that the queues are fucking long.
Yeah. What digit queues? It's like, it's really a thing of, like, okay, so you have to pay to play this game, and millions of people are,
Don't get careless.
as opposed to the others which are all free to play, which is how they get a majority of the players.
It's a little bit different when you have to actually pay to play the game, and you still have millions of players.
You're better than I thought.
Oh, we can't do an all-out attack because I'm down. Oh, not about that.
Just won't die.
I couldn't finish it off.
Stay sharp.
Yeah.
He is in danger.
He's always in danger.
I'm in danger.
Eeyore's in danger. Yeah.
Hang in there.
It's like, sucks to be Iori, I suppose.
Yeah. Sometimes I can still hear his voice. It sounds annoying.
I wanna be a leader.
All right.
Anywho, though, best game direction.
Praising director in a game
My skills have
is
improved.
such a weird fucking idea. Because directing a game isn't the same as directing a movie. There's so many more components to it. It's like when people give Hideo Kojima such praise for directing Metal Gear Solid. It's like, how much of that is he actually responsible for
Be
versus
careful. There are 4 enemies.
being just a small piece of the puzzle? It's like the thing with Warren Spector. A Eurogamer article years ago did a piece on Warren Spector, and it opened. You know what? I don't remember if it opened with it. But it had a specific line that was absolutely ridiculous. Quoting Warren Spector saying, like, attributing a game's creation to one person is like a really silly thing to do because of how many people are involved and how many people also can claim ownership of it. Said Warren Spector, creator of Deus Ex.
Good job.
You struck the enemy's weak point.
I've been waiting for this.
It says it, and then the article like completely disregards his comment.
It's one of those Eurogamer things.
You have the potential
The
to
kind
grow
of-
even strong.
It's the kind of journalism that's really led to people really not paying attention to a lot of these review sites. Which is why a lot of them are dying. You know, Eurogamer has a paid tier now. They put out articles that you can only read if you pay for them.
Subscribe to our Patreon.
Basically, yeah.
3 enemies.
Oh, we're hitting the point
It's
where
one of those
ad
things
revenue
of,
just
like,
isn't enough.
Yeah, it's also probably because a lot of us are fucking tired of bullshit ads covering all the content.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, here's my ad blocker. Have a good day,
I'll
y'all.
attempt to analyze the enemy.
Like, it's really strange about how,
3
like,
enemies remain.
people are like, man, you can find anything on the internet. And I mean, yeah, that's true, but
I couldn't finish it off.
God, it's a pain in the ass to find when half the time all the ads are covering up all the content.
Yeah.
Defeat it. The enemy's weakness
I was
is
thinking the
us.
other day,
Use it
like,
often.
dealing with ads on YouTube on my phone. The best way for them to really get us to cave and just try and get rid of the ads, however we can, isn't to have the ads all over the place, it's to always play like 1 or 2 ads over and over.
Danger.
Eventually, you get tired of seeing the same ads.
Pretty much. It was exactly what I was thinking when like an ad popped up again. YouTube is just running through like 2 or 3 ads constantly. You just get sick of it.
Yes, excellent attack.
All right, good job.
I've been considering getting YouTube Premium recently anyway, for other reasons, but it'd be nice to be rid of the ads.
Yeah. It's hard for me to pay for, like, premium stuff.
Be careful.
Well,
I'm
it's
just
the
like,
thing, like, if I get it, I'm cancelling Netflix.
Ah.
Two
And I got
enemies.
a Disney Plus
Don't get
subscription.
careless. Hang in there.
It was $1.99 for a month. So I got a Disney Plus subscription, and then like last week I set it up to cancel and not auto renew. It's like I watched the last season. I watched the last season of Clone Wars. I watched both seasons of Mandalorian, and I watched a few movies on there. And it's like I'm kind of done with it now. I don't really care. There's not really a whole lot there that I care enough about to subscribe to this specific service for. I could happily stick with Netflix and not care.
It's kind of weird how we've gone from, like, TV channels being very prominent to just, oh, now we have to pay individually for various streaming services.
Push yourself. I have high hopes for you.
And it's
It's-
like, huh.
It's understandable there are the complaints people have about that, but it still works out better for the consumer than your cable packages, because with that you have to pay for a load of stuff at once, including stuff that you're probably never going to watch. Meanwhile, with this, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to cancel Disney Plus. If I get YouTube Premium, I'm going to cancel Netflix, just so I have that. Yeah, month subscription. Let me just jump between the two, and I'm paying no extra from any of them. have them, I'll just jump between the two and grab whatever content's there while I'm subscribed to whatever for a month. It does still work out more convenient for us.
It's more so just frustrating when subscription fees are like $10 a piece and there's like 20 different subscription services and you're trying to piece together watching what you want to watch, and it's like, oh cool, I have to buy this and this and this and this and this if I want to watch individual shows. It's like, that sucks.
I suppose it's fortunate for me that I'm in the position where I don't want to watch shows anymore. Like, I watched 2 seasons of The Mandalorian, and it's like, yeah, it's pretty decent. I absolutely do not care about seeing any more of it. I'd be down to watch The Bad Batch. Sure, it looks like an enjoyable enough show, and going back to the Clone Wars would be fun. But I also don't want to watch another show, so I'm not going to. I'm tired of shows.
It's hard for me to even sit down and watch a show in the first place. The only reason I've been watching anime lately is because Meg and a couple of my friends, or a couple of our friends, have been like once a week being like, hey, let's sit down and watch the show.
That's really the thing, like, if I'm going to sit down and watch something, because I don't know when I'll feel the need to sit down and watch something again when I'm done with it, or like when I'll have the time, or I'll feel obligated to, because I've started watching something. So when I sit down to watch something, I make it a movie, just because it's a one and done thing. I'm just much happier with it. Oh, the stairs are right there.
Detected. Strike first.
I think the real problem with the multiple subscription things is gonna come in when they all start just bringing ads in.
Yeah.
I think Hulu's done that. Like, you get your Hulu subscription, but then they still have ads in it. And you know other companies are gonna follow suit with that.
Yeah.
That was the point of cable. You pay your people, you pay for your premium cable channels, and they're all ad free, and then they weren't.
Yep.
What were these weak to? Nice.
The enemy's weak. 3 enemies
Of course, ice. Why not ice?
Well, it means I'm the only
Ice,
person
ice.
who can pick the weaknesses again. This is one of the problems you can really have with Persona. Of like, only the main character being the wild card, it means you burn through the main character's SP way before anyone else's.
You attacked the enemy's weak.
I've been waiting for this.
The only reason
It's like,
Yukara's
that's
SP is as low as it is because they've been using it to heal.
Yeah, Yukari's kind of our healer pal.
Potential to grow even stronger.
I need to get rid of Apsaris because those are wasted levels. So what was the next category?
It was best game direction.
Oh yeah.
So we have Deathloop, It Takes Two, Returnal,
3 enemies detected.
Psychonauts 2, and Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Yes. The enemy is vulnerable. Attack.
I've said what I really need to say about any of that.
Defeat it. The enemy's
Going
weakness
for
is
win.
ice. You 2 enemies remain. Don't get carried away.
And now we're getting to the last category.
Awesome.
Game of the Year.
The dumbest
Has
category.
defeated an enemy. Last one.
So,
Take the enemy
Chrono,
down.
as well as anybody watching, what are your Game of the Years? Game of the Year. What are your games of the year?
Nocturne HD
Everything's going
remaster.
according to plan.
It's like if you can
Does
put
that
Nier
count, though?
Replicant in there, and you can put Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown in there. You know what? You can put fucking Nocturne HD remaster in there.
Okay, that's fair. Doesn't be like, okay, but does that count? And then you mentioned that, and I'm like, yeah, okay, fine.
think like the only game I bought this year was SMT5.
There are 4 enemies.
So I'll probably
Strike
play it.
first.
I bought a few games that have come out this year. I've
The
only
enemy's
played like
weakness is fire.
mm,
4 enemies remain.
2 or 3 of them.
Defeat.
Rip.
Good job.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it again, even though I said it earlier in stream. Neo: The World Ends With You is my game of the year for multiple reasons. The biggest reason being is that it's just fucking fun to play. Like, it's been a long time since I've actually pushed myself to be max level in a game. And I just hit max level in this, like, a couple days ago. Like, it's just really fun to play. Like, even after beating the game, I'm still just sitting here, like, doing stuff because the gameplay itself is actually fun.
Well, that's the thing that you miss with a lot of these.
Prepare to be
Just-
attacked.
Games being fun. There's so many of the games they list aren't about being fun.
Mm-hmm.
Defeat it. 3 enemies remain.
Like, yeah, I have complaints about Neo: The World Ends With You on other things, but gameplay is most definitely not one. Like, they hit it out of the park as far as, like, trying to figure out how to still keep the essence of the original game, but still bringing it to nowadays.
Defeated another
Here's a
enemy.
chance. Let's get him. Get back here, you son of a...
Alright, what are the Game of the Year nominations they've got? And how
Oh.
stupidly varied are they? In terms of games that you shouldn't be comparing with each other.
Alrighty, let's pull it up. So you have Deathloop, It Takes Two, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and Resident Evil Village.
I don't know, maybe it's like my overall lack of interest in platformers showing, but I feel like a platformer is not going to be good enough to be
3
considered
enemies present.
the best
Don't get
game
careless.
of the year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. I have not played
3
Deathloop
enemies
Teeth.
remain.
Watch me in action.
Partially because it's probably a PS5 exclusive.
Yeah, I think it's
And I'm
probably
poor
an
as shit.
exclusive. Whether it is or not, the fact that we think it probably is, like, tells you just how much we've actually looked into it.
Here's a
Yeah.
chance. Let's get him. Get back here, you son of a...
I know it's by Arcane, the guys who did Dishonored.
Not bad, huh?
And it's nice that after Dishonored Death of the Outsider didn't do so well, that Bethesda didn't just shut them down. You know, like EA would have done with any of their subsidiaries.
Mm-hmm. But wait, that's not all as far as the Game Awards go. Actually, shit. It's December 5th? Okay. Let's see something here then. Because, as far as that's not all goes,
The enemy's
there is a category that came out a few days after everything else, and that was Player's
2
Voice.
enemies remain. Don't get careless.
So what is Player's
Yeah.
Voice? What does Player's Voice actually mean?
Take the
Well,
enemy
I'm
down.
trying to get in to see the categories, because the site's fucking stupid.
Okay, everything's...
I like how I click view categories for Player's Voice and like the site fucking breaks on me. Oh, that's why it's breaking on me. Thanks for visiting. We're currently tallying the votes for Player's Voice. Fuck you. Okay, I just want to see. So the Player's Voice is that they had 30 games listed, and it was just like, anyone can vote on these games for whichever game you feel needs to be nominated. That wasn't, I guess, nominated.
But only these 30.
Well, they're doing it in 3 categories. You have 30 for the first... Well, not category. I can words together put, okay? You have 30 nominations for the first round. And then of those 30, 10 advance. And then out of those 10, I think 5 advance to the final round.
One enemy remains.
They're currently, apparently, tallying up the votes for the first round of 30 to advance to round 2. Which says that it'll be at some point today, round 2 will open. I just wanted to see what 30 were in player's choice, but apparently nothing is wanting to show me. Since I can't look at it on the actual site, let me see if I can find something else that actually mentions it.
I have it on the Wikipedia.
Alright, there we go. Found a list. Found a list of the 30 games that were nominated for players' voices. You have Deathloop, Resident Evil Village, Forza Horizon 5, Grand Theft Auto Online, Halo Infinite, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, Battlefield 2042, Monster Hunter Rise, Little Nightmares 2, Returnal, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Kena, Bridge of Spirits, or Bridge of Spirits? I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be Spirits, but this place just misspelled it. Hitman 3, Neo: The World Ends With You, Shin Megami Tensei 5, Life is Strange: True Colors, Destiny 2, Fortnite, Call of Duty Warzone, Final Fantasy XIV Online, Metroid Dread, It Takes Two, Psychonauts 2, Inscription, Death's Door, League of Legends, Genshin Impact, Apex Legends, Valorant, and New World. Notice how, like, 75% of these are also games that were already mentioned in other categories?
Yeah. Player's voice, it means absolutely nothing.
It really does at the end of the day. It's just like, look at all these games that have already been nominated for other shit. Plus games that probably should have been nominated, but we just don't care.
Yeah. Just a quick look at the Wikipedia page, and it's talking about fucking... Yeah, we're gonna have 6 major reveals, plus stuff on television shows and shit. It's like, yeah, no, that's what you want from the Game Awards.
I watched the Game Awards to find out about television.
Also, we're gonna have stuff about game-related TV shows like The Cuphead Show, The Witcher, and the Uncharted movie.
Damn, nothing about the Mario movie? Guess I just can't tune in. It's not enough for me, Chrono.
Alright. 3 floors. How close to control?
2 strong enemies, but you've surprised them. The enemy's weak. Be aware that Akihiko is severely injured.
I don't know, it's the thing again of like absolute pretentious bullshit.
Hang in there. 2 enemies remain. Don't get careless.
That one just won't die.
I say this every year. I did it last year. Well, the Game Awards are just fucking dumb, pretentious bullshit. The industry giving itself a stroke for being so amazing.
Only one left.
Last one.
This thing won't give One enemy remains.
Came out today that Activision Blizzard has laid off a third of Raven Software's quality assurance staff after spending months assuring them they were working on raising their pay.
Hang in there.
This comes after me on Thursday praising the fuck out of Raven because they developed Jedi Outcast, and Jedi Outcast is one of the best Star Wars games. And like a lot of the other stuff they've done over the years.
I'm getting kind of tired. This is not good. Takiba is fatigued.
Like Raven just... Okay, that's fucking cheap. Yeah, shuffle time. Also, I'm gonna take the cards away and shuffle them without you looking. What was I saying? Yeah, Raven Software. Like, consistently put out really good games. At best, a lot of their games were... Like, at worst, their games would be... good. Like, they put out some fantastic stuff.
Enemy detected.
And it's a real shame because then, like, Singularity came out and it had a troubled development and it didn't sell as well as Activision wanted. So Raven Software, creators of stuff like Jedi Outcast, Hexen, Heretic, and some honest-to-God fantastic FPSs like Quake 3 Arena, like Quake 4. Some really good stuff. You know what, I'm just gonna get a fucking list. Yeah, founded in 1990. In 97, Raven made an exclusive publishing deal with Activision and was subsequently acquired by them. After the acquisition, many of the studio's original developers, largely responsible for creating Heretic and Hexen games, left to form Human Head Studios. Human Head themselves were put out some interesting stuff. I think they're currently owned by Bethesda. I don't know. They put out Prey. Oh god, they put out that Defiance fucking... That Defiance game, the MMO that was based on a TV show that wasn't out yet. You remember that?
Vaguely.
Yeah. It was shut. Goddamn! It was only official game servers, community forums, and social media outlets were shut down by owning company Gamigo on April 29th, 2021. It lasted until this year. It came out in 2013.
Wow.
Yeah. How long do you think the show lasted?
What, 6 months?
The show had 3 seasons, 38 episodes.
Oh, damn.
March 1st, 2016, Trion Worlds announced a major update for the game, promoted as Season 4 of the show. Yeah, that was... but yeah, Raven. It's the Raven Software game. Yeah, like, what was that, 8 years? That's way longer than I expected it. Raven began with Black Crypt, Shadowcaster, Cyclones, Heretic, Hexen Beyond Heretic, Necrodome, Hexen 2, Take No Prisoners, Age Slayer, Heretic 2, Soldier of Fortune, which you may remember as that game that got a lot of controversy for its excessive violence, but was actually really fucking good. Star Trek Voyager Elite Force, Jedi Outcast, Soldier of Fortune 2, Jedi Academy, X-Men Legends, X-Men Legends 2, Quake 4, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, X-Men Origins Wolverine, The Good One, Wolfenstein, and Singularity. And since Singularity, they've been relegated to developing DLC for Call of Duty.
Huh.
Like, a history and a pedigree like that, and then Singularity has a troubled development and doesn't sell well enough. Bam, you are now only ever going to be making DLC for Call of Duty. Like, not even making Call of Duty, you're going to be making DLC for it.
One enemy remains. Help me!
I never watched the fights, never played the game. I think by the time it came out, I was already not interested in TV. And it didn't really matter.
Couldn't finish it off.
It seems to have multiple weaknesses.
Yeah, like, it's up to you whether or not Raven's fate is better or worse than what EA does. Of like, oh, your game didn't sell well, the game before shit developed, but it was absolutely not like anything you've ever developed before. Well, I guess it's time for you to close. It's like, hey, remember Westwood? The company that basically created the real-time strategy genre with Dune 2000? And then like, really cemented it and defined it with the Command & Conquer series? And then EA bought them and made them put out Command & Conquer Generals, which was a first-person shooter. Was that Generals? I can't remember. It might have been. If it wasn't, it was a different one. And like, oh yeah, no. That came out and it was buggy and it didn't sell well because it turns out the people who were playing Command & Conquer weren't so into first-person shooters. Turns out the people who were playing Command & Conquer liked real-time strategy. Who would have thought? And so, oh no, you made one game that was not your area of expertise and it didn't sell well. It's time for you to close. And then the story just kept happening with EA, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, next floor. There's the stairs.
Conveniently, the stairs are right in front of you.
Alright, let's get out of here. One shadow. Is that more or less worrying than 3? Because they always come in either 1 or 3s, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
No, I won't go back down to the base level. I need to remember, I want to fuse up Saris because she's done learning anything. So, save it. How are you feeling, ChanceEm?
I'm feeling a little tired, but I'm still good.
You sure?
How are you doing, Chrono?
I can keep going.
Cool. Then I can keep going.
Alright.
Gotta make sure that whenever Elizabeth's next date is, we don't miss it.
Will she have a next date for us?
I'm not sure if she will.
Yeah. Well, I'll be honest, like, I've never missed the first date before. I can't believe I actually did. And, like, missing that, we don't get the small ChanceEm, which means that's a persona just completely cut off to us.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's required to fuse something. That's not helpful. Yeah, I'm not gonna get anything like that, Pixie. Aerith. Yeah, no, that's exactly the kind of persona I could do with. Way above everything else. Yeah, the Game Boy Watch is quite a load of shit. And then a level 3 social link, so I'm gonna guess leveling up twice. What do you think, ChanceEm?
Yeah, I think so.
Twice?
Twice, yeah.
There's one.
Let's see.
There's two. Otu Tarukaja. Nice.
Ooh.
Something's about to happen to the skill deer. Will I let it continue? You know what? Sure, I have another persona with the skill deer. Change into the stress boost. Great to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was absolutely a bad idea.
It's like, wow, so helpful.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, Berith is easily the best persona we have right now. I threw that with Alp. Gur and Yatsagarasu are both above me. Yeah, nothing we can really do there. Berith's a good pull though. Definitely, like, stuff like that is why I tend to primarily favor the triangle fusions.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let's go home. Of course, the downside of fusing up Saris is I don't have a persona with ice anymore.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, it's like 10 days till the next full moon, so now like that storyline's actually going to start happening.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot it took this long to actually really happen. Like he gets this
Is the
close.
next full...
What was your question, Chance?
No. The next... Is the next full moon the... I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut for a moment.
You know what? I'll mute you on stream, and then you can ask me without worrying about spoiling. Yeah, you're good. No, that's the one after. Yes. Alright. But no, we went over that a little earlier. If you remember, that one is the one after this one.
Yeah, I remember us mentioning that, and I was just like, wait, really?
Yeah, after that, I forget what order they're going. This guy really shouldn't be allowed to teach. This stuff is definitely not on the curriculum.
No, I think it's on the curriculum. I mean, I learned about the occult in school.
In Japanese school?
Totes. Whatever Japanese school was happening in the southern US. I forget what city Persona 3 takes place in.
That's Sumipo Island. The artificial island, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Which they mention and then never really bring up again. The fact that the entire island is man-made.
Yeah.
And then Persona 4 is just set in a country town, and then Persona 5 is just set in Tokyo.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, wait, can we go back to that man-made island? What's that about? You feel tired because this is boring. Don't even learn anything.
This guy always, like, feels weird to me, because, like, I just look at him and I'm like, your eyes tell me you're, like, Pac-Man if Pac-Man was human.
Academics increased.
Yay, academics.
Actually, that's the
Maybe
point. I should
Mitsuru
go
will
and talk
finally
to...
like us.
Yeah, I should go and talk to Mitsuru, because, like, did I get a high enough score to get a reward from her? Alright, Kenji. Alright, Hidetoshi. Not yet. Working hard to solve the mystery of who left a cigarette butt in the bathroom.
How dare somebody smoke on our school property?
I was gonna say as a joke, like, I bet you was a teacher, but, like, I can't remember if it actually was.
I can't remember
I pretended
either.
to take a picture with my cell phone.
I don't think this girl is actually dark skinned. Didn't she like a
freaked
Gangara?
out and started crying.
I think so.
Like
Yeah.
it was the end of the world.
Because that was like a
You
really
should've seen the
popular
look on her
fashion
face.
style back
It was priceless.
then.
Oh my
People
god.
probably still do it today.
I have never laughed so hard in all my life.
They're making fun of someone? Don't they have anything
Remember,
better to do?
there is no bullying at our school.
Huh?
There is
Where's
no
that
bullying
voice
in
coming
Bossing
from?
Say.
What voice? I don't hear anything. What's wrong, Maki? Maki?
Huh?
Are you okay?
Sorry. What were we talking about? I can't stand girls like
Can't
that.
stand girls who hear voices and suddenly space out.
Totally normal.
Class has ended. Let's go. Alright, time to walk all the way down to where Mitsuru usually is. In Persona 4, I can just teleport there. He isn't here. Yeah, I'm gonna do student council today.
Alright.
Actually, kind of a thing that I forgot about with Persona 3, like, they don't flood you with a lot of social links at once. Currently we have a student council, Kenji, Zushi. Old couple in the books. I think we can start the exchange student, but we don't need to yet. And the longer we leave that, the better that'll probably be, because then we don't have to balance more. Since Persona 3 has the problem with, like, if you don't spend time with them, they'll start reversing.
Members are arguing. Pretty quiet argument, it seems.
Mm-hmm. Pretty tame as well, like they're all just looking at each other like that.
Maybe it's one of those intense, like, stare downs. Like it's a silent argument.
Like I'm talking to a moron. I forgot Hidetoshi wasn't the vice president. I always have it in my head that he is the vice president.
Yeah. It's like your social link goes with him, so obviously he's supposed to be higher up, right?
No reasoning with you. You're a madman. Well, Shaun, we're not so different, you and I. That's what it feels like with this. You were there the whole time? Yeah, I was studying your field of view. They're like children, they just don't understand. But you know, that's actually a very childish thing to say. And they'll respect me. They'll all respect me. They'll pay.
Yeah, that's totally not an unhinged thing to say.
What do you mean preaching to the choir?
I'm not so sure I understand him better.
What do you mean preaching to the choir? Level 5 already. Alright, let's bounce. I'm gonna go spend the night with Mitsuru.
Where have you been?
How you doing? Nope, don't need to know. Doesn't matter. Alright, let's go to bed. And by bed, I mean study. I wanna fucking kill you one. This one. God, what do you want? I can't. I already have the thing with Kenji, don't I?
I think you've already agreed to the Kenji thing.
Yeah. Study, then go to sleep. You decided to study. Yay. Time to go to bed. It's kind of refreshing going back to Persona 3 for the social stats to not mean as much as they do in 4 and 5. Like, there's that thing with Persona 4 when it opens, when Morooka introduces you to the class. And he calls, I think he calls you like a shit. And one of the response options is to call him out on that. But you won't have enough courage on your first playthrough. But I don't think that Persona 3 really has anything like that. Apart because there's only the 3 social stats, whereas 4 and 5 have the 5.
About that girl in 2E? Yeah, they haven't got a clue.
Oh, wait, Junpei.
Isn't that bizarre?
What are you going to say, Chanson?
I was gonna say, I mean, if you're trying to, like, max out all of your social links, you definitely can't do that on a single playthrough.
I think it is possible to do all the social links in one run in this game, but you would need a guide.
Really should hear this. Well, a girl from 2E.
What part of I'm not interested don't you understand, fuckface?
They found her lying on the ground in front of the school gate. Nobody knows what happened, and supposedly she's still unconscious. Yo, Yucatan. This is a tough case, even for Junpei Iori, ace detective.
Ace detective? Are you stupid
Oh, yeah.
or something?
We know he's stupid.
More like stupe, ace defective.
Defective.
Hey, I resent that. Anyway, where have you been?
I was talking to the teacher. That girl they found? I saw her yesterday on my way back from practice. She seemed
okay
then.
then while I was judging her.
Whoa. Now that's really strange.
Wish Junpei would get into a car accident. Alright, do I have anything to do on Saturday? Hero, how you doing?
Chihiro, best girl.
I said hi to you. It was really hard. I will now have a full-blown conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, just imagine just being like, oh, you said hi to me? Okay, we're going on a date now. It's just like, what?
Have you ever said that to her before? Like, she gets
I think
really
I did on my
flustered.
first playthrough, because I was like, oh, hey, obviously new social link. And then I was like, wow, I'm a dumbass.
Yeah, she's not anything. Fairly well, I guess, isn't enough. Guy scored about average. Junpei quite low. And then we take a look at Akihiko and Mitsuru. And Akihiko is decent. Mitsuru is like the top. Yeah, there you go. Nice. Yeah, if you ask her out, like, there and then, she gets really flustered. It's pretty funny. What's the term for it? Flooding, maybe? Like, oh, you scared of talking to boys? Let's go out and be alone together where you can only talk to me. To me, Chihiro. I mean, it's a cruel thing to do, but she's not real. Oh, hey, Yuko.
Another best girl. Oh, we're not saying hi to best girl.
No, actually, that is a point. We can deal with Yuko because we can raise the social link for one go. Just the one, though.
Just the one.
and mentally exhausted. Cheer up. Yuko is no longer your friend.
Just don't think about it. Obviously, that's what you do when you're mentally exhausted, right?
Just remember to put your pants on one leg at a time. Hey, you wear a skirt? Well, I can't help you then.
I was about to say, oh shit, I've been putting my pants on one hand at a time.
Izzy, that's why you're getting nowhere in life.
I knew it was something. Gonna be the downfall of my own success.
Yep, this is what Persona 3 teaches you. The best way to be friends with people is just agree with everything they say.
It's like, just say what they want to hear. That's the obvious answer for how you befriend people.
She blushed.
No.
Yuko, best girl.
Yuko, definitely best girl. Our relationship is stronger now.
Level 2.
And now I'm suddenly seeing tarot cards in my head.
I always forget that Yuko is strength. However, you're still just casual acquaintances. He isn't going to buy you chocolates yet.
Oh, hey!
When people please stop talking to me about rumors, I have more important things to worry about.
What more important things do you have to worry about than rumors? Don't you know you're a high schooler? Isn't that what high schoolers are supposed to be worried about?
As a male high schooler, it's not what I was worried about.
Well, what were you worried about?
Video games.
Fair. That's also what I was worried about.
What will you do? Study. In those academics.
We do what we must. We do what we must to impress Mitsuru.
Yep.
Is there any other reason why you study?
Honestly, I do like actually having my grades at the top. Like, Persona 4 doesn't actually give you anything for... I'm pretty sure Persona 4 doesn't give you anything for having the really good grades. I just kind of like it. You're having a good time hanging out with Kenji against all expectations.
Am I having a good time hanging out with Kenji?
Probably not. Kenji is acting like a child. You pushed him over the railing.
god.
Yeah.
I forgot how cringy his plan is.
Think of something else.
Oh jeez, I seriously forgot just how cringy his plan is. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
That's not, you got a woman.
Welcome back.
You got a woman with rope.
I'm pretty sure that's how you get in jail.
Oh no, it's only if you get caught. Mitsuru, that computer isn't even turned on. That's actually a fair point, like... This room doesn't seem to be used. Like, with this being a dorm where only we live, what is this section about? Everybody seems to be healthy.
Everyone is healthy, so that means go to Tartarus.
It's Tartarus.
You slacker.
We have 8 days. Want to hit the next barrier before then.
I believe in you. You can do it.
Well, now that we've got Merit, actually, I feel like we probably can. Jumped up. Our best persona was level 9, now it's level 15. Like I said, that's why I always prefer to do triple fusions, triangle fusions. In Persona 1 and 2, everybody can change personas.
Yes.
If you die here, we're just going to leave your body here. Nobody will ever know, Jumper. No. Floor 36.
Floor 36.
Alright, 1 shadow.
Its Arcana is the Empress. It's a guardian, so it'll be a difficult
Alright,
fight.
rock and or roll.
Rip. Decisions. Not good decisions were made. I mean, you still live, but...
Couldn't finish it off.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
Hang in there.
So it uses Garula, so best assumption is that it's going to be immune or absorb wind. So best play for this at the minute is to keep Yukari as a healer.
I couldn't finish it off.
Glad to see that still applies.
Let's get him. Get back here, you son of a...
It's shot. Do a physical, it's guaranteed crit.
Good strike. Here's our chance for an all-out
Yeah.
attack. Ready at him.
This one's going pretty well so far. Uh-oh.
Nice.
Eh.
This thing won't give up.
Akihiko, shock it again.
My turn.
I feel like the ailments like that come up so rarely in this game. Like in Digital Devil Saga and Nocturne, enemies would get the... Enemies and party members would get those specific effects often enough that you could hope for them. But in this, I feel like it's always really kind of rare.
Defeat it.
My turn.
I should get through most of its health though, so that's not bad. Especially if it's going to keep focusing on Yukari with Garula.
It's like, yes, please keep focusing on Yukari with that.
Yeah.
A+ plan.
Finish it off.
Yeah, this has definitely worked out in our favor.
Finish it off.
A lot better than the previous one.
Hmm.
I couldn't defeat it.
Let's go. It's still alive. I'm still thinking.
Are you alright?
Oh shit.
Longest Junpei doesn't finish it.
That was a close one.
Can't let Junpei actually beat a boss. Give him too much of an ego stroke.
Definitely. What goodies do we get for this? Soma. And Traisto gems. The Traisto gems... What is that? Escape? Guaranteed escape? Oh. Guaranteed escape from the dungeon. Which, given that there are the access points on every floor, feels kind of unnecessary. But the Soma's definitely worth it. Well, anyway, get that boss done. I think we're gonna call it here.
Gonna call it here. We're not gonna try and push through to the next full moon.
No, I've got 8 days. That's gonna be like at least another hour, and the next full moon isn't exactly a short thing.
That's true.
I think leaving it here will be a good idea. We'll get to the next full moon next time.
Okay.
Hopefully catch a couple more personas and try and get something else. With, like, Berith is a good thing to have, but having something else as well would be a good idea, just in case as a backup.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, always rounding out your skill sets. And you don't want one persona to rely on all the time, because that persona's going to have a weakness. Unless it's Black Frost.
And Black Frost is just like, I do what I want.
Yeah, it's like, hey, nullify dark, drain, ice, and fire. No weaknesses. It's like, that's not fair. That's why it's a 5-point fusion.
Oh yeah, it is.
Mhm.
Forgot about that.
What is it? Pyro Jack, Jack Frost, Ghoul. Can't even remember the other two.
I don't remember.
Yeah, let's look it up real quick. There we go. Level 38 Persona of the Full Arcana can be obtained from the Pentagon Spread Fusion in the Velvet Room using Jack Frost, Pyro Jack, King Frost, Pixie, and Ghoul.
Well, damn.
There's a specific Persona 4 wiki.
Huh.
It's weird. But yeah, absorbs fire and ice, reflects darkness. Learns Ajidan at level 43. Mm. Yeah, Black Frost, like, considering Jack Frost, Parajack, Pixie, and Ghoul are so easy to get, like, that's the thing. You go out your way to get King Frost just to get Black Frost.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to Persona 4 eventually. I said before,
Eventually.
like, I prefer Persona 3 in a lot of ways, but Persona 4 undeniably plays better.
It does. Like, it had a lot of quality of life improvements to it.
Mm-hmm. And, like, less Vic Mignogna.
And less yeah, that's definitely an improvement.
Mm-hmm. Instead, your best friend is voiced by Yuri Lowenthal.
How dare. So I mean, Yuri Lowenthal is also in this game, but...
Yeah, he's the main character.
Yep.
This is the second
You cannot
game
escape your fate of Yuri Lowenthal.
This is the second game this week that I've streamed with the main character being voiced by Yuri Lowenthal.
Like I said, you cannot escape your fate of Yuri Lowenthal.
It's fine. When I go back to Prince of Persia, it's going to be voiced by Robert Atkin Downs. Then they brought Yuri Lowenthal back for Two Thrones. Apparently there was a plan at some point to bring Robert Atkin Downs back to voice the Dark Prince, but it didn't work out. For whatever reason.
For whatever reason.
Yeah, I don't know how far into development that idea got.
Far enough along the lines that they were asking Godsmack for music.
No, that's second game. I'm talking about the third game.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, you know the Dark Prince?
Yes.
Yeah. There was at least an idea of getting Robert Atkin Downs to voice Dark Prince. Because he voiced the Prince in Warrior Within.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I might be back to stream tomorrow, continue Jedi Outcast. We're almost at the turning point of the game. I got through... There's the 2 Kejin levels, I did those. There's technically 3 levels on Artus, and I've done one of them. Which is the mines, and then it's the detention center, and then the surface. And then we get to the turning point of the game. After that, like after I finish that, I don't know. I might do Warrior Within. I wanted to do that game for ages. Like just play it. I don't know. I'm so glad they added a Togi to Xbox One backwards compatibility. I've been wanting to play that game again for years. But it wasn't on Xbox One backwards compatibility, and you couldn't play it on a 360 either.
Weird.
Yeah. It was the same with Jedi Outcast. Jedi Outcast you couldn't play on an Xbox 360. Plus, like, they added Max Payne, the entire Max Payne series backwards compatibility, after I already, like, booted up my Xbox 360 to stream Max Payne.
It's like, well, shit, I already did this. Now what?
I did it earlier this year, didn't I? In 3 parts. Because Max Payne is set 3 parts, so I did 1 part per stream. I think the second...
I vaguely remember.
Yeah, I think the second one ended up being like 2 hours. Like, well, we're finishing early, but as said, you know, 1 part per stream. If I go into the next part, then I'm going to be doing the next part entirely. And I don't know if I want to be here for like another 2.5, 3 hours. Learned that lesson with fucking the Devil May Cry 3 streams. But yeah, let's split it up by Virgil fights. I'll stream to the first Virgil fight, and then the second session will be to the second Virgil fight, and then the third will be the conclusion. And then I did
Looks
that
like
for
mistakes
the
have
first
been
stream.
made.
Well, that was the thing. I did the first session to the end of the first Virgil fight, and then the second session I did to the end of the second Virgil fight. It was like, this is going really well. Let's keep going. And the problem with that was there was not a good stopping point after that. So I did the rest of the game.
Holy shit.
It was like 6.5 hours, and you don't want to be doing Devil May Cry 3 like that, because by the time you get to the hardest fights in the game, you're exhausted. So like one thing
that was fun.
One thing I was proud of myself on was not using any of the gold stars, which immediately revive you.
Mm-hmm.
So I got through the entire game without using any of them. If I died, back to the checkpoint. Fine, fair enough. So like the second Virgil fight took me a few tries.
Oof.
And I was really happy when I'd actually accomplished it. It was really great. The third Virgil fight, like, it had been 6.5 hours. I was tired. So I just used the gold stars. After getting through the entire game without doing it.
That's pain.
Yeah, it's part of the reason why, like, I wanted to go back and do it again. I need to try and work something out with Ninja, because that Devil May Cry series playthrough I was working on with Ninja was a fun idea, and we only did one session. So I need to get back to that. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for joining the stream. I really appreciate the support. Big special thank you to everybody in the chat. Chat is always the best part of the stream. Here we have today Teak, of course, Amanda, Kira, and I think that's it, yeah. Oh no, Clint did pop in. So yeah, thanks to everybody who joined the chat. Chat is always the best part of the stream.
Clem popped in briefly.
Yeah, because Clint's got a
he was
buffalo
gone.
today.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And of course, super big special thank you to ChanceEm for joining me on the mic once again.
Well, thank you so much for having me once again.
So, anything you want to say before we go, ChanceEm?
You always ask me, and I'm always just like, why do I lose my train of thought right now? It's like a curse. Do you have anything to say, Chrono?
Once upon a time, I was falling in love, and now I'm only falling apart. Nothing else to say. It's a total eclipse of the heart. Once upon a time, there was light in my life, and now there's only love in the dark. There's nothing I can do. It's a total eclipse of the heart. Good night, everybody. Can't leave until ChanceEm says goodbye. He's just not doing it.
I was wondering if you were just gonna shut it off if I didn't say anything. Alright. Good night, everyone.
Thank you all for watching. Have yourselves a fantastic time of day. I might be back tomorrow or Tuesday with more Jedi Knight. Jedi Academy. So look forward to that. It should be fun. Like I say, gonna get to the turning point when we stream that next, where the game turns around and reveals those first few levels, like those first 7 or so levels, where you were playing a shooter. Those were a trick.
Not a trick.
It's a really good shooter. Don't get me wrong. Like Raven were great at developing like really solid shooters, and then it turns around and does something, and it does it so well that it is one of the best Star Wars games. So look forward to that. Yeah. Thank you all for watching. Have yourselves a fantastic time of day, and take care. We'll catch you next time, guys.
See ya.
Bye.